Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we check in with the Public Works Department about the upcoming street projects. My guest today is Construction Supervisor Justin Clausen. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, you're probably not a stranger to our viewers. You have your own TV show.
Yes, I do get to go on during the construction season. About every 2 weeks we go out and videotape some construction sites and let people know what's going on around town and try to keep them up to date with ongoing construction work.
So if you really like to see the construction work around Ames, you'll want to watch On the Road with Justin.
Yes.
Thought I would give you that little plug.
Thank you.
But we're here today to talk about construction. I know it seems like it's the dead of winter right now, but really plans are moving forward for several street projects this summer. Actually, even before summer. When do they start?
I'm hoping to get started sometime in mid-March, but probably April. It's been a very cold winter, as you note, so the frost tends to go a lot deeper in these cold temperatures, and we've been kind of dry anyway, so it'll take a while for that to come out, and probably late March, early April is when we start seeing things happen again.
Now, probably some of the first projects that you start on are the ones that maybe didn't get quite done at the end of the last construction season, some wrap-up kinds of work. Which projects are those?
We did get a lot of the street work completed last year. What is carrying over is some of our flood control work. One in particular is in the Northridge Parkway subdivision up at Moore Memorial Park. We've got a contract there that is cleaning out the pond, removing some silt, deepening it, making it have more capacity. And then along with that project, we'll be upgrading some storm sewer through the area to take care of some localized flooding, and in turn hopefully have a better project when it's all done.
Great. You also have a list of streets that I know that are sort of on a schedule to fix. Mm-hmm. Before they even make it on that list, what's the process that you go through to determine which streets really need improvement?
We have a number of approaches. Some of it comes from our own maintenance staff that are out there fixing potholes, fixing joints. We have that information. We also take information, the public gives us good information as well, and we encourage that involvement as well. One of the major things that we do here at the city is we have a pavement condition index called a PCI, and it gives a numerical value to every street in town. And so we have a large spreadsheet, and that gets updated annually, and then those that are on the lowest value then are put priority towards being replaced.
Now, after a tough winter like we're having now, do you see any shakeup sometimes of those street conditions?
Yeah, we can. There's no doubt that the hard winters definitely play a vital role in reducing the lifespan of those streets. But for the most part, we know what we need to fix going into the next season. So a winter like this may affect year 2 or 3 of the capital improvements program. But this first year, we're pretty much where we're going to be at.
And when you reconstruct a street, when do you expect to see that street again on the plan? What's the average lifespan?
Hopefully 25 to 30 years, depending on the type of work that we're doing. If we're simply doing an overlay, we know that we're trying to buy some more life out of that street, so it may be 10 to 15 to 20 years. But if we're doing a full reconstruction, we're shooting for 30 plus years is what we're looking for.
Now, just in sort of going over quickly some of the streets that you had mentioned, you and I were talking beforehand, you've got some major arterials, and then you've got some less busy streets.
Yeah.
What are some of the big ones coming up?
Some of the big ones you'll see, probably some of the first work starting will be along Sheldon Avenue, going right there on the west side of Iowa State University. That's going to be starting probably in early April. That'll be reconstructed from Lincoln Way all the way down to Highland. That project is federally funded, so we did receive some additional funding for that, and we've worked real closely with Iowa State to try to coordinate that work.
And you mentioned Lincoln Way. I know that's on the list as well.
Everyone's favorite street, Lincoln Way in town. West Lincoln Way from Thackeray, which is west of South Dakota, over to Hickory or Beetle, where some of the work ended last year. That street will actually be resurfaced, so we'll take the existing 2 inches of surface off, put a new 2 inches of asphalt back down on that. So that work will definitely affect commuters or people traveling to the west part of town.
So we don't close Lincoln Way down, but we often go down to single lanes.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. You will probably see a similar construction technique as we had last summer, where we'll have one lane in each direction while we reconstruct 2 of the lanes. The biggest probably headache on that project is going to be the intersection at Lincoln Way in North Dakota, South Dakota. Trying to maintain traffic as best we can during there. There will probably be some times where we will have to close it in order to pave through it. So we're going to be using things such as our message boards, using the public relations office such as yourself, Twitter, Facebook, everything that we can get out to people, help them, let them know those closures in advance.
I know a popular page on our website is the construction updates page, where we keep just a running tab of those different projects that are going on through the season, but also updates, hence the name.
Yeah, exactly. About once a week, I go through and try to update that page and try to let everyone know what's going on. And we're looking at trying to bring in some changes to that page too, to get it maybe a little more graphical with maps and things like that. We're working on that through this winter here, so we're trying to stay on the cutting edge of things as well.
So one of the exciting projects I think you have on your list is 5th Street. We did a lot of Main Street last year, the part that is to the west of Clark.
Yep.
And it tied in with all the streetscaping, some fancier concrete, just a lot of special elements to make it look a little different.
Yeah, we're 5th Street this year is going to be reconstructed from Duff over to Burnett, and it's going to be in 2 distinct phases. The first phase will go from Duff to Douglas. We're going to hopefully have that started sometime in April, May of this year and have it done before 1st of July. I know once July starts, there's a lot of activities. There's a lot of road races. The library will be opening around that time. There's also the 150th anniversary stuff that's going on that we're looking to work around that. And once that kind of time passes, we will start on the section from Douglas to Burnett. So that area there, it's going to be very intense again, similar to what happened on Douglas last year, where the sanitary sewer will be replaced. A lot of that stuff is from the early 1900s. So we'll upgrade that infrastructure and get a new street, including colored concrete as mentioned, decorative fences, streetscaping, all that sort of stuff, try to beautify the area some more.
Well, that will really make an impact in the area, and like you said, there was the improvements to the library, and then you've got the church right next to that also added an addition, the post office, a lot of historic buildings in the area. We've done a lot of improvements to the alleyways in downtown. Really, really shaping up that area, starting to look and feel sort of this new, the new amenities in an older historic area.
Absolutely, we see when we go in and the city takes some of the initiative and brings the infrastructure in the neighborhood up to maybe make it newer and upgrade it. That a lot of the businesses and even if they're residences or anything along there kind of follow in suit and do the same.
That's great. One thing that I noted that maybe you are experimenting with, but the idea of the impervious concrete, that we are seeing more of that, sort of that concrete that does absorb some water.
Yeah, we try to use that as much as we can. There's many benefits to that. Water quality, it helps filter out some of the impurities before it gets to the storm sewer, which in turn to the stream, and then also just helps with runoff.
And I guess I said that wrong. It would be pervious concrete.
Yes, that's fine. Pervious concrete. Yes, and the more of that we can take off the street and into our storm sewer systems, the better off we are. So there are areas where we would like to put maybe some vegetative restoration back in, but maybe it doesn't make sense because of some traffic or something that's in the area. If we can install pervious concrete, allow it to get away and not necessarily be running down the street and the curbs, we prefer that, so we try to promote that as well.
And how has that, I know we did it in the alleys in downtown,
yes.
and has it been successful?
Absolutely. We've in last year, we did some along Gilchrist Street between Clark and Kellogg. There's a large stretch along there. And then we also did some along Clark Street between Main and 5th. The stuff along Main and 5th we actually used. We weren't planning to do that until we actually got out in the field and realized that this is a great opportunity to do it. We had some issues with drainage away from buildings, so we wanted to make sure we got water to drain. And that was an opportunity that we seized upon to utilize that pervious concrete.
You might not notice the pervious concrete just walking around, but when water is on it, you can really see the difference.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's really interesting.
It may look like it's really rocky when you're walking on it or near it, but once it rains, it definitely sticks out. You can tell where it's at.
Yeah. So are there other kind of different features that we should look for in the projects you have coming up? Do you try to incorporate the latest and greatest in street construction?
Absolutely. We try to really be innovative and apply any new techniques that we can.
I know we're working a lot with restoration of turf.
Yep, we're looking at ways to incorporate native grasses and native plants. Whatever we can do to help sustain the restoration that we do, so we don't have to go back and constantly maintain it, and trying to be green as possible, and try to use less fossil fuels and all that sort of stuff. We really promote that as much as we can.
Oh, that's great. Well, Justin, obviously you got a lot of projects coming up, and we always joke about it being downtime. It seems like there's never downtime anymore, is there?
No, there's not. We're busy right now preparing for the next season, and we're looking forward to it, to get out of the cold weather a little bit.
Yeah, well, thanks for stopping by.
You betcha. Thanks, Susan.
So if you're looking for information on construction updates or just more information about the City of Ames in general, don't forget our website at cityofames.org. Also, you can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.